And I think we are now live. So thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. I'm super excited for this one, hosted by special guest Laura Colarzo. The reason that I've invited this UGC creator here today is because she is a killer at creating portfolios. And as we know, this is super important, if not essential, when landing brand collaborations. Now, me and Laura connected on Twitter, and I knew that she was getting quite a lot of inquiries through for her portfolio. So straight away, that was telling me, hey, this is the person we need to speak to. So I'm super excited today. So for anyone that is wondering exactly what you're going to learn today, please get a pen and paper at the ready, because today you are going to learn absolutely everything that you need to know to create a killer portfolio and start landing some paid brand collabs. So Laura, fire away.
Okay. I am so happy to be here and excited to share all of these details with you, because I always get a little frustrated with TikTok or just with short form content in general, because I am recording maybe 30 minutes of content and then having to downsize to 3 minutes. And I feel like sometimes I can't, well, no, I know that I don't get everything that I would like to share out in that one video. So I really think that this sort of space is so valuable and the best way to learn. Obviously, actually doing it is the best way. So if you want to work on your computer as you're here, that's great. But you can also take notes and then rewatch this webinar when you actually are ready to sit down to make your portfolio. So to get into this, I'll start with that actually. I will show you my portfolio just so it's here. This is what it looks like. I don't have my own Google domain yet, but I will say, just to start on one of the ways that this portfolio can be improved or it can be modified, is by buying my own Google domain, such that instead of seeing my.canva.site, you just see visuals by LNC. It does say a little bit more about your professionalism, or it could say, but I don't think it's that big of a determinant in whether you land a deal or not. So that's just one way this portfolio can be modified from the start. So this is the home page, and I will walk you through it in detail when we start, but I just want to give you a preview of it. My portfolio is definitely more of a website. It leans into a website, and it is longer than the typical portfolios that you might see on Twitter or TikTok at the moment. I believe every portfolio should be different and is different, because we are all unique and we all have our own brand identity. So your portfolio or your website, just like your content, should easily speak on your brand identity and your personal stamp. So that is my portfolio. Now, I made it completely on Canva. There's many different ways you can make a portfolio, because in essence, a portfolio is just an organized visual representation of your work and achievements. So that could mean a lot of things. And I've personally seen many people use Canva for their portfolio. It's definitely one of the top tools amongst UGC creators for portfolios, but you can also do it in various other ways. You could just open a Vimeo page and post your videos there. You will probably use Vimeo anyway to post your videos and then use the link to incorporate or integrate into your website. But I do know some people that land deals just by sharing their Vimeo profile. So what I want to say here is, there isn't one perfect way to making a portfolio. It's just how you feel comfortable and what allows you, what you can do right now. You probably will evolve, and that's totally fine. That's part of a business. That's part of being human growth. So now that we've had that disclaimer out of the way, I want to start by saying my portfolio took technically 5 days, but actually building up to it took months. It took months of work. And I want to say this because I see a lot of videos on Twitter or TikTok, especially on TikTok, about everyone joining in the UGC community, which is so great and so exciting. But a lot of them or a lot of them feel like their journey starts right when they publish their portfolio. But no, your journey starts with the research. So you just consuming, content on TikTok, on YouTube, on any other platform that you find educational content regarding digital marketing, UGC, all of that is part of the prep. And it should be one of the first things that you do before actually starting to make any outline on Canva about your portfolio. So the first part would be research, and this is a little template, a PDF that I made after a live that I started last week. So I'm hosting UGC related lives every Wednesday, and this is a summary of what we talked about last Wednesday, which was actually getting started as a UGC creator. And the main thing was, a lot of people think it's when you make your portfolio, but I believe there's a big prep that goes before that. And it could take hours for some, it could take days or weeks. For me, it took months, and that's okay. We all have our own pace. So for me, the first thing that I recommend that you do is to learn about the topics that you are going to be working with. So digital marketing, UGC, platform-specific strategy, copywriting. And copywriting is basically how you're going to sell whatever your content is about, or in the case of your portfolio, how you are going to sell your services and your skills. So that was a big thing for me, one of the hardest things for me to learn, and it's still a learning process, copywriting, and it's a big part of your portfolio, and your pitches, which is complementary to your portfolio. So after I did some research, I will show you, let me just put it side by side here. The first step to research would be to just go on TikTok and research UGC portfolio. And this is when you're actually getting into making your portfolio. There's plenty of examples here, but like I said, you only get so much within a 30-second or 1 minute or 3-minute TikTok. So if you want a little bit more, you go ahead and go to Twitter. And then if you search UGC portfolio on Twitter, you will see so many different creators who have posted their UGC portfolio on their bio. And that way you can have a bit more insight or a bit more inspiration. Oh, I can't, whatever. And then if you want more inspiration on the actual content of your sample work, I personally recommend going to the TikTok Creative Center and seeing what ads within the niche that you're interested in including in your portfolio is performing well. So you see these ads. You could also go on TikTok and just scroll for 5 minutes and see a bunch of ads. And this is how you're going to get inspiration for the actual sample work that you're going to include in your portfolio. Yeah. Now, if you don't just want to include video work, you can also include UGC photo work. And here I would definitely recommend Pinterest. So you would go on Pinterest and search product photography, for example, or you can just search your specific niche, and I'm sure a bunch of pictures will pop up that are ads, and that would be probably one of your the most useful for you. I have a collection. I'm trying to find it now. Where is it? I have a collection saved of all the pictures that inspire me. Oh, here it is. Creative photography. So anytime I see a picture related to product photography, I kind of add it here. And it's just an easy way to save all your all the work that is inspiring you along the way.
Amazing.
And obviously there's also Google. Oh, sorry.
No, amazing.
I
was just thinking of two questions there, just off the back of what you said, which is super valuable. I think number one, is it important that creators find their niche before they create the portfolio? And number two, I find that a lot of creators that are obviously creating the portfolio are new in their journey. So do you advise that they actually use these tools to create some videos before they've actually landed a brand collab, just to show what they can do?
Oh, yes. I personally think that you don't need a formal portfolio to land a brand. Like I said, there are people who land brands just by sending their Vimeo. But and there are people who land deals just based off of their own personal account. But essentially, there's always some way you're showing your skill. Like the brands need to know your skill set, whether it is through your own social media, which is kind of more influencer marketing. But if you're a UGC creator, brands will also possibly look at your account just to get a sense of your vibe. You could post a Vimeo account and post your own content there and send out that link, just if you don't want to send your account link. Or the best way would be to be hosting a portfolio, to be building a portfolio, like a formal portfolio. And when I say formal, I just mean an organized visual representation. I don't mean it has to be a Wix site or a Squarespace site. These are also other website builder platforms that you can use. But again, Canva is highly user-friendly and customizable. So I believe it's one of the best tools for creators that are starting out in their journey. And starting out could mean weeks, months, or even years, okay? Because we all have our different pace.
Amazing. And also
So
Laura,
yes,
when you,
I do believe it's better. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I do believe it's better to have some work ready
amazing.
before you start pitching the brand. It also helps with your confidence.
Amazing. And sorry to interject you there. I think also with the benefit of Canva as well, am I right in assuming that as you update your portfolio, as you land more brand collabs, is it right that if you share your link, then automatically that portfolio stays updated? So you never really end up sending out old portfolios. It's always up to date with that live link.
Yes, that's correct. So I actually saw that somebody said something about having to change their portfolio and send out different links, but at least with Canva, if I go directly to my, well, this is a copy, I made a copy, but basically if this were my original edit page of my Canva website, it would give me a warning here saying any edits that you make are not going to be live until you hit like publish again. But that doesn't mean that I have to send out the link again. It just means that the live version of my website is frozen. It's exactly how I left it, even if I make edits here, until I hit publish as website again, and then all the changes will be live.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's definitely a useful feature of it. So when I finally sat down to make my website, actually that was in April, but when fast forward in June, I pitched a brand and I said, you know what, let's pitch. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna say, this is what I can do for you. I have my work. I can send it to you if you give me a proper email instead of this route. And she said yes. And I was like, oh God. Now I need a portfolio. Because I said I'm gonna show you my work, and she said send it over. I want to see it, and I'm like, oh wow, this is how it works. So I sat down, and 5 days later, this is what came out. And before I sat down, like I said, I researched a whole bunch of UGC portfolios from other creators, but it was a bit overwhelming. And at the same time, I felt I wanted a different perspective as well, like not just the creator perspective. So my second big tip, other than researching other people's portfolios and ads and the actual content that's going into it, what I did was I Googled two things: top marketing agencies in the world and top digital marketing agencies in the world. And so I got on their websites and I wanted to see what they were doing, like what makes their websites interesting. What draws me to them. So this is the list, just so you can see. And this is an example of what a marketing website looks like. Not bad. It's not giving what it can give, but it looks neat. And what I did see here, and what I noticed with a bunch of marketing websites, is that they all had case studies, like a separate button just about case studies. And I like that. So that is something I added to my notes. And then this is another website. And what they have is kind of you can get connected to them, and they highlight something in your face right off the bat. So that is kind of something that I noticed about them. So like, contact me, send me a proposal. It was right there.
A call to action.
And then the third one, what?
A call to action. So straight away it's asking for detail.
Thank you. A call to action was right there in your face. And I like that. And then the third one type of site that I loved was this type of site. And I definitely took notes of this. So I love a site that feels interactive, like feels dynamic and visually interactive right off the bat. So I hadn't seen this in the creators' portfolios that I had researched. I thought it was something that would stand out, and I love creating videos. So it was like my favorite part of making my portfolio was actually making the videos and the content for it. So it was just one more video that I could make to show off the content that I had. So these were just two different things that I did prepping for the portfolio. And then let me see what else. No, I think that was it. Then I started experimenting, actually making the videos. That definitely took a bit, but I started. So let's go into this tab now. So when you go into Canva, this is the home page. I actually wanted to start experimenting, so drafting up some things, setting up an outline for my portfolio. I just wanted to get started. So there's two different ways you can do this. You search website, and you can search templates, and let's see all of them. There are so many different templates here, and this is also to serve as inspiration for your own website. You can definitely just click on any of these and use it as a base, and then completely customize it as you go. There are so many. See, there's just so many. It's a bit overwhelming, definitely. So just remember, there comes a point where you need to stop with the kind of consuming and researching and actually start taking action, so you see what you like, what you don't like, etc. But one other thing you can do, if you don't want to just start with the template, you can start with the blank page. So you would do that by clicking website, and clicking this website option here, and it'll open up a blank page, and you can still see the templates here. So let's refresh this. So you can still see all the templates on the left side menu of your screen. So if you want any of the pages of a particular template that you saw, you can easily add them to the pages that you're working on blank here. So I'm gonna, just because this is meant to be an hour, I'm gonna be using my own website as the kind of my template, and I'm gonna be copy pasting as I go, but I already made notes on how I want to improve or modify my website, or I'm going to share with you how you can modify it. But I instead of using one of these templates, I'm gonna use my own website, but you can just click on these, and it'll open up all the different pages that this website template has, and you can pick and choose. See, you can just easily replace current page, and you can just modify it directly here. So that's one way of doing it, and that's essentially what I'm going to do, but with my own website. So let me do this, where I divide the screen. So let's start. The first page is going to be your home page. It's going to be the first thing that the people see when they click on your website. So there's different ways you can go about it. You can put a picture of like some of your content, a photo content, as the background, and that is very bold. You can do a gradient of it. So let's say I want this picture here. I could blow it up, and then there's this cool element. So element is where you're going to get any sticker, anything that you need on your page is going to be searched on the elements tab of the menu. So say I want a gradient, square gradient. These are just some that you could choose from. And I can make it a bit cooler.
That's cool.
Like this. And you can choose the color.
I also think
And one,
it's worth mentioning.
oh, sorry.
Laura, to interrupt. I think it's also worth mentioning that when you look at your elements, you do find that some of them are paid, right? So you've got two options.
Yes.
I think can you either pay for the paid elements there and then, or you can just subscribe for a month with Canva. I'm unsure what the pricing is exactly, but I don't think it's a lot for 1 month just to create that portfolio, right?
I believe I pay the full subscription, and it's $12 a month, I believe, which is not that bad. I mean, if you want to, I'm all about experimenting, so you can always subscribe for. I think there is a free trial actually, but you could always subscribe for a month, see how much you actually use it, like time yourself, how much you can you use this tool, and see if it's a good investment for you, and if it's not, then you cancel it. It was $12 investment, and you probably will create a few things that are worth having in your storage, like, as a creator, like an email signature or a media kit or this portfolio. So it's a great tool, honestly. And I do believe this one was free. If not, there are other gradient elements that are free, because I learned about this in a free Canva tutorial. So one of the cool things about Canva is any picture that you upload. So if you want to upload your videos and images, you do that here in the upload tab. And I personally added a bunch of my content before starting my my portfolio, because I wanted to have the color themes, if that makes sense. So anytime you add a picture to Canva, you go to the colors, and it comes up with a palette of colors based on the picture that you added. So I think that's a pretty cool feature to have. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. But don't worry, there's an undo button. That's the best button ever. So basically, yeah, there's different ways. See, just with this little change, my cover, my home page looks completely different. So there's so many ways you can customize, but basically this would be my new homepage. Let's say that that's the new homepage. I personally have a label, like a brand name, Visuals by Laura, but you don't have to do that. You can just take your beautiful name, and that could be your brand title. And send to the back. No, that's not completely to the back. Okay. So you can just have your name as your website cover title or page title. That's fine. Now, since this is Canva, when the person clicks on it, they're going to be scrolling down. And I personally wanted them to be able to click past the components that they weren't interested in. So I made this index right here. And I think this is a big point up, like a plus point for Canva portfolios, like to have some sort of index or a way for them to skip through anything that they're not really interested in seeing. For example, these are the components that I believe a portfolio should have. The bio, so a little bit about yourself. Second, what is UGC? And this one is slightly controversial. There are many creators who say that this is not necessary. I believe there are many, many brands who still don't understand what user-generated content is. And since I have an index, they can easily skip through that part. So I don't see it as as something that's gonna be a deal breaker with brands, in terms of brands. But you could have a different opinion. So if you don't want to include that, that's completely fine. Or if you don't want to make it like a full component, if you just want to have a very small what is UGC statement somewhere among your subpages, but not have it highlighted as a full page, you could also do that. There's many different ways to go about it. Now, all of these are, of course, clickable, and I made it this way, but the good thing about Canva is it already has its own navigation. So a second way of showing your index is actually, if you look at all your pages, you click here. I have 31 pages. you can name all of your pages. So right now they have whatever name it wanted, like the template names. So I can name all of these pages, and when I go to publish as a website, let's see if I click the right thing. See, this says without navigation, but if I click with navigation, it'll pop up a little hamburger menu at the top of the screen right here. And see, it already has an integration feature for this sort of indexing. So I wouldn't have had to create this clicks. You could do both. That's totally fine. The more the merrier for making it easier for people to scroll through your website. But I just wanted to highlight that there are two different ways. Like if you don't want to waste space or time on this, that's a second method of navigation. Another important thing that your homepage should have is, or I believe your homepage should have, it could be on a different page, but I chose it on my homepage, is links to my socials. And of course, you should make all of these clickable. If not, they're just images of the social media, which sure, but the best way to use them is to make them clickable, such that so let me show you how it looks like live. If I click any of these, it'll just, pop me to my social media. You get the point. But the coolest one is the email one. So if they already are like ready to contact me, they can click here and it'll automatically open up whatever email they have and set up an email for them. So I think that's a really cool Canva feature. And how you access any of that is by clicking on the icon that you want to link, and then this is the link option. So for email, you literally just have to input your email, and that's it. For your socials, you just input the full link. So you would look up your Instagram and copy the link for your profile and input it there. The same for Pinterest or TikTok. And if you have any questions, of course, drop them in the chat. I am not looking at the chat, but I'm sure that Reese will let me know. So if I'm going too fast, or if there's any other questions that you have, feel free to let me know. So this is the base for the home page. I think we'll leave it at that for now. If some people just have a picture and that's it, I'm going to show you an example of that. See, this is a home page of another creator. She's an amazing creator. She actually has templates available on her stand store. So if you just want a minimalist template like this, she has hers for sale. And then she opted for a very simple but bold home page where she has one of her content pictures. And then we have a different sort of homepage here. Maximising, she's another amazing creator. She hosted another webinar here on the Social Plug. And her homepage is similar to mine, but still a different sort of call to action. She has her analytics and kind of letting you know what she's about and what she can do right off the bat here on the homepage. So and then you have mine, very different as well. I think mine is more similar to marketing pages homepage. So each style is very different, and they were all made through Canva. So there's just so many ways you can customize this. Now for the second page, if we see this second page, Machiamati here has how she can help as her second page. Melissa has her bio as her second page. Technically, yes, I also have my bio as the second biggest component. I believe it should be one of the first things they see, getting to know me. Other people maybe you feel that your analytics are your strongest point, so you just want to get straight to the point quicker. That's up to you. But before I went into my bio, I wanted to have something different. So that's where I used my notes from all my research, and I decided to create this little video that highlights the keywords that I feel represent my brand and the content that I create. And it does have music, and you can put it on a loop. There's different ways you can control the playback, if it's on autoplay, if it's a looped video. And I just uploaded to the uploads tab. And that's it. I added it here to the page, see? And I added squares top and back to just make it more aesthetic, but there's so many different ways you can customize that. I could have also put in it full screen or just a short box on the side and then put my bio on the other side. So you get the point. How you customize the transitions is up to you. Now, for the second big component, I would say is the bio. And one way I could elevate this page, instead of posting a picture, what I really wanted to do was actually post a video. So I think that a video bio is even more dynamic. So for people who don't want to read, or maybe they can't read, they can just hear something at the moment, or there's different reasons for why to do it, but having a bio video is a way to make your UGC portfolio stand out. And having a bio video in general is a big asset as a creator, because you can use it not only for your portfolio, but for other platforms such as this one. So if you don't know about Fiverr, it's a freelancer platform. You can post your gigs. That's how they're called. So if you do a service, you can post it as a gig that people can buy. So this creator and a lot of other Fiverr creators has a short bio video as part of their Fiverr profile, where they say where they're from, what type of content they do, and how they can help you. And I just think it's a very creative and dynamic way to make your Canva portfolio different. So there we go. And for now, I am just going to, like I said, copy and paste. But you are more than welcome to take from other templates and get inspiration on how they create their bios. This tablet frame, I got it from Elements. So if you go to Elements and write frame, there's so many different, like iPhone, tablet, computers, PCs. So that's another fun little way you can make your portfolio more interactive or eye-catching. And then the bio, yes, it may seem, I try to make it as least overwhelming as possible, but still giving them a sense of me. There are people who make it even shorter and less personal, more focused on what I can do for you, less get to know me. There's you decide how you want to go about your business, how you want to present yourself to brands, basically, and how you use the bio page. If you want to write your bio and what is UGC in one page, that's definitely something you can do, and something that I've seen. Because my third, or my next component, is actually the what is UGC. So again, if you just want to integrate that into one page, you can. I decided to do it in two separate pages because I believed it was important to speak on the subject of UGC in a more thorough way, and it just gave me more space to put pictures and put more of my work. So what is UGC? I found out all of my information and my statistics online, but I think it's important to highlight your sources. So if you put percentages, which is what I've seen a lot of creators do, I recommend you put sources. As a PhD student, I think citing and references is very important. So that's just another tip from me. And then here is where I'm adding pages. You can duplicate a page here. So duplicate page. And then if there's anything you want to change but not mess up the original, then you can just try and a few versions here and then delete the one you don't end up choosing. Sorry. And then all of these frames are from the Elements tab, like I said, and all these information is from my research. Let's delete this one. And I don't want this to be green. If you want to change the color, you can, and there's many ways to do it. You can do it this way, or you can change the transparency of something. So here you can change the color of this element, or you can change the transparency of it here, and that'll also sort of change you the color. So there's just 2 different ways to change it. And then after the what is UGC, which again is a very optional thing, I go into what I can do for you, how I can help you, and I decided to also add my past collaborations there. Now, this has not been updated. I have more now, so I might consider making the past collaborations a separate page. So these are just things that you can consider as you grow. So when I made this, these were kind of the official ones I could place. Now I have more, so I might delete this page, maybe combine these two, the what is UGC and what can I do for you. So again, different ways for you to evolve and grow. What I do for you, so if you're not just if as a UGC creator, there's so many different things that you do. You edit, you film, you script, you're on Canva, so you might have a good skills with graphic design. So please make sure to put everything there, anything and everything you can do, because you never, even though you might want to be a UGC creator, like this is what you're pitching yourself for, you might find inbound leads reaching out to you for other things. For example, this is my UGC portfolio. So I would make content for brands, but I actually had a client, a monthly retainer client, who reached out to me after seeing my portfolio, and all I do is create creative concepts for them. So, and I don't do the videos, I create the concepts. And that is not something I intended for, but I gave all my services, and that's what they reached out for. And it's been a very, very amazing experience. So after the what is UGC, then you can get into the good stuff. So actually showing your work. And there's many ways you can do this, whether you do it as a case study. So this is 3 different case studies that I showed for specific brands that I created for both video and photo content. I decided to do it in this collage form, but here I have a different way of showing it, more polished, I would say. One sec. Oh, nope. Why isn't this here? Oh, here. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So I know that there's a big difference between organic and ad style UGC. So not only did I want to showcase case studies where I'm showing, all the work that I've done for a specific brand, I also wanted to highlight that I am aware of creating, or that I can create, an organic versus an ad style UGC. So I made a whole page just to dedicate to that. And again, this needs to be updated, and it's a big point that I will make. You do want to showcase versatility, even if you're niching down. Let's say you're a mom, so you consider your UGC niche to be moms, but what is that niche? You can do children's toys, you can do mom's fashion, you can do home decor, like from a mom's perspective. There's so many things you can do. And as a creator on your portfolio, you want to showcase that you have versatility within the topics that you can create for and how you create for them. So not just an unboxing video, but also testimonials, demos, voiceovers, trends. So some people are only looking for help on how to be integrated on TikTok, how to learn to go about TikTok, which in a lot of ways is how to make trends original and other things. But there are brands that will only be interested in content that is meant to convert for sales. So that is more paid content, more ad style content. And you don't have to you don't have to want to do everything. That's totally fine. But the more you diversify, the better your chances are for getting a more amount of work, but only the amount that you can handle, of course. So again, I made a page just for some examples of ad style versus organic. And a big thing is, since my website is so long, I wanted them to be able to access the different parts of it easily, even as they scroll through the website. So say they clicked directly on my homepage to this tab, they can then move on to, are you ready to talk to me? Do you want to see my rates? Or are you still like, do you still want to see more? Do you still want to see more? So if they were on that page, they could keep on scrolling and it would take them to my actual portfolio. So a lot of people, and we'll see other people's portfolio here. Melissa here has her intentions, so her social proof, what is a UGC creator, and then she goes straight into her portfolio, and this is how she's showcasing it. Beautiful. And then we have Matcha Maddie saying, how can she help? Her social proof, her analytics, and her partnerships, and then boom, straight into her work. She also has photo and video content, and then she has testimonials, which is another important part I was going to do. And Melissa also has analytics. So there's that way of showing the portfolio, which is putting all the videos that you consider to be UGC in the pages. There's by category, which is how I did it. So they can click on these, and let's go to the live version so you can see it. If a brand is only interested in seeing the beauty content, that was wrong. Good to know. If they're only interested in fitness, for example, this will direct them directly to the fitness pages, and so on and so forth. Clearly, I have a lot of content. Some brands might be deterred by this. I haven't had anyone say that. They have actually liked my portfolio, but you might find this to be too much, too overwhelming. I just already had so much content made, I didn't start making content for my portfolio. I just used my own content and integrated it into my portfolio. Not to say I didn't make new one, but that is why I have so much. If you only want to include 5 or 6 videos, that is totally fine as well. Make sure that you are fully confident in those 5 videos and that they show your full skill set. So don't make them all unboxing. Try to make each one a different video. And if you're only showing 5, I would label them in some way. So here's an example of a case study where I label the type of video. So this one is an ASMR. This is an organic testimonial in Spanish. This is an ad style type video, no voiceover, just display, and an ad style video of a demo. So a demo in use, a wash day routine. So there's so many different ways. Just in my portfolio, there's different ways of showcasing your work. You figure out which one you identify the most with, or if you want to do like me and integrate different styles within your portfolio. If you're bilingual like me, I think you could either integrate the content that you're doing in another language as part of your case studies or as part of your portfolio, or you could do a separate category for, say, I could add one here that says Spanish, which I might do, or build a completely separate portfolio in that language that you can also work in. Either way, I think showcasing that you are bilingual is a very important thing. Now, let's go back here. All of these are linked, and they are linked to pages within the portfolio. So how you do that is, again, you go to links here, and let's delete this page because it doesn't exist in this portfolio. But here you can see that I can either input a link, so a Google link or something, or it highlights the pages that are within my current design. So that's what I would do, view my portfolio, and we haven't created it, but it would be here. And then when it's live and people click on this case, then they would be redirected to the portfolio page. And I decided to do it by linking this square here. So I just went into elements and put in square and edit it, but you could also directly link text. So you don't have to add a square for everything. I just you can link it here. I just didn't want the underlined. So that's why I used a little square button or oval. So the most important key points are bio, what your services are, what you can do for the brand, and then your actual portfolio work, whether you do that in case study form or showing your work in display is up to you, or even better when you do both. Now, the services and rates, if we skip over to that. Oh, and one more point about the case studies before I move on. If you, which I will add, actually, that's one of the things I want to improve on. If you add testimonials or analytics as part of your case study, that's even better. So you might have to ask, obviously, the brand for that information, but it is definitely a highlight if you could include here how this content performed, or if you can include a testimonial from the brand saying, I loved their work, they were fast, they were efficient, they did exactly what I wanted, stuff like that. That's an even better social proof. And you can do that within the case study page, or you can just do like Maddie and Melissa did, where they did a separate section of their portfolio dedicated just to testimonials and analytics. But having that proof is a big step up for your portfolio, but not necessary, especially when you're starting out. If you just have your own analytics, you can also include those. But I have landed deals, and there are many creators who have landed deals with their portfolios not including analytics or testimonials. I'm just saying different ways that you can modify yours. So moving on to the rates and services, my rates and services page. So this is also a slightly controversial one, or an optional one, I would say, because a lot of creators have their opinion about whether you should put your rates on the portfolio. Some agree that you should, some say that you don't. Why should you not? The argument is that you could be so if a brand had a higher budget, they would offer you less because they saw that your rates are lower. Sorry if I'm not explaining that right, but essentially that's what they say. I think that you are setting a standard for yourself. So I always write starting at. So all the prices are starting at, and I would like to discuss the request so we can talk about a more custom price for you. That's kind of what I go for on my portfolio. And even with my rates, when I started, which is still now, I still accepted deals under my rate, and I still had many brands tell me, would you mind sending over your rates? So putting it or not putting it is a personal preference. I decided to leave my rates there, and there's so many ways you can do it. There are people who actually have their rates and packages set so that you can buy them directly on the site. I like discovery calls and kind of getting a sense of the client, what they want, making sure that I'm a good fit for them and everything. So I haven't done that, but it's definitely something to explore. And then how you price yourself. I'm the daughter of a businessman, and all my life I've had business and marketing mindset as I was growing up. I did my research. I looked at a bunch of other people's, like how the market was, and I decided that this was my worth. But you price yourself however you want. If you want to be lower, higher, that's up to you. You could also experiment, see how it goes with those rates. But I think it's very personal, but it should be realistic, okay? Realistic to the work that you're putting into and your skill set and like the deliverables that you are giving back. I also put in here that you can request for monthly and yearly retainers if that's something that you're willing to do. Whitelisting and Spark ads, which is allowing a brand to promote through your account, like through your account, not to post on your account, but to promote the content through your account. I also put in that you can request that. I didn't put the pricing directly there. I have raw footage and exclusivity fees. Like we need to discuss that depending on the usage rates that you're interested in. So all of these technicalities that are talked about more in the contracts, I did put some notice of it on my rates page. There are other creators who don't put in so much fine print. So it's really up to you. And I decided again to keep on putting my work on every page. So I also took the opportunity to add more pictures onto this page. And let's see, there's not sure if Matcha Maddie has hers. I believe not on her page. So see, that's one way of doing it. But I do know that there are other creators that have their packages, like even if they don't have their rates, they have their packages there. So you can choose the 5 video bundle or the 3 video bundle. Like, she does have bundles, even if you are not aware of the price. So that's something else you could consider. After rates and how am I on time? Oh, I am almost out of time. After rates and services, so this is kind of a minimalist version of my portfolio. That's what I'm doing now. So we've gone through the bio, the what is UGC and what I can do for you, the case studies, the social proof, the portfolio. I didn't add too many in this version, but you get the idea. The portfolio, if you want to add iPhone frames, you just go to elements and go to frames. If you just want to add them directly in this way, once you upload them, anytime you click on a picture, it'll upload directly as a square or however that picture is cut, so you can modify it there. But yeah, those are 2 different ways of pasting on the page. And then I also included these little next elements. So if you search next, you'll get something like this, and it is clickable, but it's just a visual way of letting the person know there is more. Swipe, there is more, little things like that. And this is another transition page between my service and rates and the full length portfolio, just something else that I wanted to add, not necessary, but I do have a Let's Connect link here, which is similar to the Let's Talk link. It'll lead them to the same page, which is the contact page, my last page. And I think a contact page is very important, whether you do it like this. So let's see her contact page. This is clickable. Yeah, I believe it is clickable. Complete an inquiry form, book an intro call, or email. Let's see Melissa's. Melissa, the same. These are not clickable, but that's okay. So she has all her socials and emails there. My version, let's go to the live one. If you click Let's Talk, or if you click Let's Connect, which is kind of different ways of saying you wanna talk to me, let's get into it. It'll lead you to the very last page, which is my inquiry form. Actually, like I integrated or embedded my inquiry form into the portfolio, which honestly has been one of my biggest tips, I would say, one of my best moves. All my inbound leads, which has been the majority of my leads this month, have been through my inquiry form. So I do have my email there. They can email me directly, or they can start filling up this inquiry form, and I'll show you. I created it through Typeform, but you can just use a Google form if you want. That's fine. And basically here I ask them their name, their email address, what they're interested in. And here I have my services laid out. So if they have, this is the one that I got contracted for a month, where I help them with coming up with concepts and looking up trends. This is the platform specific creative strategy. If they need management, if they're looking for UGC or photo or influencer marketing, so social media enhancement, I am willing to do it. So that's something you can offer as a UGC creator as well. If they're just interested in my skill set as a creator, so the video and editing, or if they're interested in me building a website for them on Canva, such as this, or any other graphics on Canva. And basically it continues the timeline, whether they're interested in my bundles, and I receive this and then get back to them, or they can email me directly. So having having easy ways for brands or clients to contact you is definitely going to make for a higher probability of you landing inbound leads. The easier it is for them to contact, the better. And so I think this is in essence my portfolio. I'm not sure if I'm missing anything other. I'm sure there's many different ways that I could show you how to use these buttons here. Let's see, there's buttons, there's lines. Here's where you would add all your texts. And then there's different ways Canva helps you with photo and video content. So if you don't want to create something visually appealing on your, no, if you don't want to create it yourself, then there's also help from Canva on the video and image perspective on how to just make your website a little bit more dynamic. And after you're done, you go to publish as a website here. And then, like I said at the beginning, you can add or remove navigation, and you can choose if it'll automatically resize your website for mobile. So if you wanna, this is the website version, here's the preview. And then if somebody is on their phone and clicks on my website, I can have the option to resize it. And this is what it looks like. Wait one sec, should give me the preview here as well. I opted for not resizing because I didn't optimize the way I created my portfolio for mobile view, but you are also, that's something you can work on as well. So this is what I'm sorry that it's taking so long, but essentially this is what it looks like on a phone if I would hit the resize on mobile. As you can see, there's this like negative space here that I wouldn't want. This doesn't look too bad. But here, clearly, these pictures were meant to be kind of on the side, and then it completely shrunk these words here. So I'm sure this is going to be improved. It does say beta version. And like I said, I didn't work on making this mobile optimized, but there are people who have it, and it's definitely a plus to have it optimized for mobile versus desktop. I just put a note anytime I send it out that it is optimized for desktop view, not mobile view. And then the free domain, which is the one I have, you can put your name on it. So let's click continue. You can decide the URL name, and you can also change the little icon. So if you notice here, I created a logo for my brand, Visuals by LNC. I created it on Canva, and it is actually the little tab icon for my website versus Maddie's and Melissa's. They have the Canva logo as their tab, which is totally fine. I'm just letting you guys know something, just another way you can customize yours. And if you want it to be password protected, or if you want to hide it from search engines, you can. That is all permissions you can enable or disable here at any time. Another way to make it even more customizable is by purchasing a domain. So you purchase a domain, and that way you don't have the .canva.site. Or if you already bought a Google domain, which I believe is $12 a year, you can connect it to that existing domain, which is what a lot of creators are doing, and I might do it myself at some point. So I believe that is it. There's one other thing I love about Canva is that it has so many different embedding features. So I personally uploaded all my videos directly to Canva, but if you have a Vimeo account, which I also have one, you can upload the links and embed the Vimeo videos just like you would the Canva videos. So instead of these being from Canva, they would be from Vimeo. You can also add maps. My Typeform is one of these embeds that you can do. And even if it's not on here, you can create your own embed. Like as long as you have the link, Canva can allow for customizable embeds. So I am a big fan of Canva, clearly, and I hope this walkthrough was decent enough that you feel like you are ready and more at ease and prepared for your own portfolio.
Wow. Mic drop. That was incredible. Thank you so much for your time, the walkthrough. I was just sat back. I should have took myself off stage a while ago, and just watching that walkthrough and just seeing how you created that from start to finish. I think you pretty much answered every single question in regards to not just how to create a killer portfolio, but also the research that goes into it. And some people ask some questions before, Celeste and Sharon asking, what if they don't have the videos, and what if they've not quite crafted the niche? And we've talked to them about the research, how to create a fantastic niche. And they also asked as well that if they've not already got brand collabs, how do we go about creating the videos? And what I said in the chat, because I didn't want to interrupt you, was, you can either use Social Plug, where we've got trial campaigns, or of course, you can actually look at what you suggested was your top performing content on TikTok, right? And then go and create a video as if it was a demonstration to give brands an insight into what you could be capable of. And I think from that, it covers absolutely everything. And everybody that has been part of this webinar has not left, not one person. So that just shows how valuable this has been. So what I'd like to do now, just to summarize it, because I'm conscious of how much time Laura's already put into this, is just finalize this webinar with any final questions that anyone has. Obviously, this will be super useful and valuable while we do have her on the chat. For anyone that may have missed anything that they have seen today, do not worry. A follow-up email will be sent to each and every one of you, so you can replay this and obviously use it as research as you proactively go ahead now and create your killer portfolios. One thing that is super important to mention here, guys, is that we brought Laura onto this webinar because you can quite clearly see the amount of knowledge and value she can provide for portfolios. And one of the things that she was struggling with was just how much content that she already has on this portfolio, which goes to say how successful she's been, not in just of terms of the portfolio, but also the vast amount of brands that she's working with. And I would also like you guys to just be as successful as Laura is. Therefore, Laura is offering a discovery call with you guys. Laura, please tell us more about that.
So yes, I have many different things going on. One of them being UGC Live Wednesdays. So if you follow me on TikTok, every Wednesday I'm hosting a different creator and we're talking about different topics related to UGC. So last week we talked about getting started. This week we're talking honeybook and contracts, which is so important, especially even when you're getting started. It's important to learn about contracts, especially what ones you're signing. But if you have to create them, which is a big task, it took me hours. These are just some of the talks that we're going to. And I created a Google Drive where I'm just going to be publishing all the replays and notes. Now, other than that resource, I do have services. So if anyone needs help with the Canva, there are templates, and this webinar was a way for you to do it yourself. But I know that there are many different things that we need to get done as a creator and in life. So if you need someone to do it for you, I'm happy to hop on a discovery call so I can help you and we can walk through what exactly you need for your portfolio. Do you need help on coming up with the UGC concepts, like what you want to include in your portfolio? Or do you want help making it? Like you have the content ready, you just can't figure out the vision of seeing it there made, and I can help you with that. I know how frustrating it is because the portfolio got me stuck for months. So I just want to help you get that done as quick and efficiently as possible. So yes, that's basically it.
So what I've done, guys, is I've just dropped in Laura's link there to the creator side of her portfolio. And within that, it really breaks down in terms of what services you're looking for, whether that's just some feedback on her portfolio or, of course, actually to go ahead and create it for you. So as I said, there's so many different elements to a portfolio and what it is you're looking for. So Laura suggested that a discovery call would be the most efficient and best way to go about this. So I think that's it. I think Celeste has just said, I have to run through, but thank you so much. And she said, Laura, this was absolutely amazing. So I think this has been a huge success. So thank you so much, guys, for watching this webinar. I hope it's been useful. And as I said, this will be going down and circulated. So thank you so much for each and every one of you for watching this. What I will do now, Laura, is I'm going to summarize and end the call, and then I'll send you a Zoom link for us to just run through and follow up as we discussed. So that's a bye for now. Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for your time, Laura.
Perfect. Okay, well, bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.